Hey, y'all. Oh my gosh. Today, today on the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show, we are going to be doing a happiness check in because I know some of y'all out there are not prioritizing self care and joy, right? So, listen, we are going to get into it because I'm checking up on y'all because I know y'all right after this. Hey y'all, how you doing? I am so excited about today's show because as I have been ripping and running, as my mama used to say, you just ripping and running around in them streets, doing all the things, doing all the errands, doing just taking care of everybody, all of that. I know that sometimes our own self care is absolutely lacking. And so, what I wanted to do was do a happiness check in because y'all know what I always say you create your own happiness, right? You get to create your own happiness. And how do we do that? By doing really deliberate actions that are going to feed our soul and our spirit. And so, what I wanted to do on this episode is really check in to see where you're at on prioritizing self care in your own joy. Because what I know to be true is that a lot of times we're out here and we are not prioritizing our self care or our joy in life. We are just going about life day-to-day business as usual, and we are not really checking in with ourselves. And so as a coach, I wanted to check in with you to first of all see how you doing. How you doing? And I don't want the answer, oh, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm okay. Now, if you are doing good and you are okay, then perfect. I love the answer. But if you're not, I want you to just kind of be honest with yourself and check in to where you are in life. And what I want you to do is if you are here with me live, go ahead and drop your name in the chat and let us know where you are tuning in from as well. So let's just hop into it a little bit in terms of self-care, in terms of what it is you should be doing in your life and why is this so, very important. I mean, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people get the definition or feel like they don't really understand a definition of self care. And really, self care is just a practice of actively taking um, a role in your own well being, right? You are taking an active role in how you show up for yourself and your well being in this world. And I always say that a lot of times we are very used to putting the mask on somebody else versus putting the mask on ourselves. And we don't realize a lot of times when we need to put the mask on ourselves. And I think for me, over the years, I have learned that putting the mask on myself first is the key to success in all the things that I do. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a very busy schedule, as do you, because I know you. I'm sure you are so busy running around doing all the things and trying to be all the things. Trust me, I know because a lot of times when I'm talking about these subjects on the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show, it is all something that I've been going through in my own life, and so I needed a happiness check in for myself. I needed to figure out, Kiki, are you prioritizing your own self care and joy? And so that's why I wanted to check in with you because I know the answer for myself was like, girl, you ain't doing a good job, right? You need to do a better job. And so chances are, girl, you're not doing a good job. You need to do a little bit better when it comes to prioritizing self care. But what it really means is just really that active role that you're taking to to make sure that you're well, to make sure that you are okay. I mean, lately, I have been traveling, speaking all over the country. I've had to, just like most of you, figure out summer camp because summer is coming and a camp is needed because I still work in the daytime and I know you do too. So I'm having to figure out summer camp. I'm having to figure out the end of the school stuff. I mean, like coming up, my son has a Mother's Day program that they have scheduled for tomorrow, and all of these things are during the work day. And so he has this Mother's Day thing tomorrow. They have field day next week. They have end of the school celebrations. I mean, yeah, yes, all that, right? And so as I'm preparing to make sure that I can be present for them, I also need to be present for me. And I'm also doing a whole bunch of different projects. I have those on my list as well. So I just needed to stop and take a moment to just say, hey, what are you doing for yourself in the midst of all these things? Right? What are you doing for yourself? Because at the end of the day, if I'm not well, then how am I going to be doing all these things? And so I'm going to ask you the same question. If you're not well, how are you doing all these things? Right? We're not. So I want to talk about, like, just quickly, just a couple of reasons why we don't give ourselves enough love and attention that we deserve. Some of them are time constraints, just like I just talked about, right? Like we think that we don't have enough time, right? But when it comes to self care, you have to make time. Like, I mean, like, it's not a joke. Like, you actually have to make time. I have to be absolutely deliberate. When I say deliberate, I mean straight up deliberate about doing what I need to do for myself. And we're going to talk about what some of that might look like a little bit later, but I have to be deliberate. But another excuse you might have is guilt or the imposter syndrome or just pressure, imposed pressure that you put on yourself to do all the other things, right? But take care of yourself. And I get it. Trust me. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a professor, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm all these things, right? But if I put all this pressure on myself to do all those things, but not take care of myself, then frankly, I think that I'm being selfish to me. I'm being selfish to me. And so we have that imposed pressure that we put on ourselves. And then we also have just a lack of prioritization. We just don't prioritize it in our life. I can remember I was talking to one of my clients and I was saying to her, one of the things I want you to do is I want you to see if you can take one day off every single week. And she was like, excuse me, not every week. Cause I wish we could do that, y'all. Hold on. I meant every single month, right? If we could take one day off a week, have that 4-day work week. Oh, wouldn't that be glorious? I'll tell y'all how I do that. A lot of times most of the time in terms of my schedule, I schedule, of course, Monday through Thursday. And then Friday, I try not to schedule any calls at all. That is my day to get caught up. That's my day to potentially go have lunch with my hubby or with a girlfriend. So I typically can have a somewhat of a 4-day work week because Friday is the day to get caught up. Does it always work that way? No. But do I try to make it work that way? Yes. And so that's a little trick on how you can get some time back, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you work for yourself. If you work in an office, I mean, maybe, or in corporate America, maybe you can propose something like that, like no call Fridays, or no Zoom Fridays. I know that's probably a lot more difficult, but if you have any influence over your schedule, try to front load stuff and then put the rest, so that you can take some time on the back end to just get caught up and do some work. So that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to talk about. So here's the thing. I find that there is a really amazing connection between self-care and joy. And when we talk about joy, or happiness, right? It's just those emotions like gratitude and delight and inner peace. Like that's what joy is. And when I have found myself the happiest, it's always been when I've been able to take care of myself the right way. When I found myself, let me say it again. When I found myself the happiest in my life, it's always been when I can take care of myself or when I've been taking care of myself more. I find myself a whole lot happier in life. And so that's why when I wanted to check in, number one, it's called the happiness check in. Number two, prioritizing self care and joy is because I feel like they're connected, they are linked together. Because when you are out there looking for joy, then more than likely you're practicing self care, and then vice versa. When you find joy, more than likely you're practicing self care. And so I wanted to check in on you guys and just see how you're doing. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not well, then nobody else is going to be well. And there are some real statistics that show that. I mean, there's a national survey that was done, and Americans cited that the benefits of self care was enhanced self confidence. So if you have, health care, self care, then more than likely you have enhanced self confidence and then an increased productivity, right? Increase productivity. And then even then they say that you're happier. So you will, if you practice more self-care, you are more self-confident. 64% of Americans said that they were more self-confident. 67% said they had increased productivity, and 71% said that they are happier. Right? The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Another study that was done in 2023, conducted among young people, found that 90% were using self-care methods to manage their mental health and emotions. Young people getting it right, right? Like if 90% in this survey were using self-care methods to really get themselves together and be okay with their mental health and their emotions, then what are you and I doing? Right? What are you and I doing? So here's what I want to do is I want to kind of share a couple of tips that I use when it comes to self-care that ultimately helps me produce joy. And then I'm hoping that, from here you can use some of these tips. And then at the end, I'm just going to ask you some questions about whether you're using them or not. So one of the things that I have done more recently, right? V, yes, 67%. Thanks for joining the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show live. I appreciate you. So one of the things that I've done recently, which may not seem like a lot to some people, but I have learned it is the most important thing out of anything that I'm going to say to you. And what's funny is what I'm about to tell you is not something that I would have ever thought of, because of the way that I operate in life, right? I would have never thought of this. Even this one thing that I'm about to tell you supersedes my love for working out. Now, y'all know me. If y'all know me, if y'all been following me for any amount of time, you know that I love to work out. I am a Peloton girl. I run. I do all the things, and more lately, I've been walking even more as well. And lifting weights a lot as well. But y'all know I love it. I love it. I love the sweat. I love to feel accomplished. I love those endorphins. I love all that. And so that's part of the strategy. But this thing that I'm about to tell you supersedes even that. And I didn't know how much it did until I started really digging into it and practicing it. And it is getting enough sleep. I know. Listen, coming from a recovering night owl, And I say that because I try to be a part of the 5 a.m. club now, which means I get up early versus go to bed late. But let me just tell you, as a recovering night owl, I still can stay up late and I still like to stay up late because just sometimes how my body works and I'm not ready to go to bed. Some of you might be just like me, like a little kid. I don't want to go to sleep. I have to literally force off the actual I have to literally force the actual TV off. I have to click it off on purpose in order for me to go to sleep when I'm supposed to go to sleep. And sometimes I won't even cut the TV on because that I know that I'm going to want to stay up late. Right? I know that I'm gonna want to stay up late if I turn the TV on. So I'm like a little kid in that sense because I want to stay up. I mean, House Hunters comes on at 10 o'clock. I mean, like, and I love House Hunters, right? And so I want to stay up and do that, but I can't. So I've learned how to overcome that by going to sleep earlier. And when I go to sleep earlier, I wake up more energized and my day goes so much better. But when I go to sleep later, especially over a period of time, I see um how I don't have a lot of energy, how number one, I don't have a lot of patience, and all those things. And it just makes things not as good for me. So I've been practicing going to sleep a lot earlier and getting at least 8 hours of sleep. And so some of you have heard of the Aura ring, right? This is not a promotion, but I mean, Aura, if you feel inclined, you can go ahead and throw me some coins over here, right? But I have the Aura ring, and the Aura ring actually monitors your sleep, right? And it has an app that's connected to it. And it tells you over a period of time how your sleep is affecting your body. And it gives you what they call a sleep score and a readiness score. A readiness score in the morning time tells you how ready they feel you are for today based on the signs and signals that your body gave the night before, right? And then the sleep score will tell you that you have done really, really good with your sleep or your sleep was some trash, right? Like you need to work on your sleep. And for me, I bought this ring because I really needed to start figuring out how can I optimize myself and my time, right? How can I duplicate myself or optimize the self that I have and the time that I have? And so I bought the Aura ring and it has been so very, very good for me in that sense. And so today I am happy to report because I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my stats for you to let you know that I am for real about this thing. I have burned already today, and this is already today, 324 calories. Hey, that's a whole meal because it does track your activity as well. And then I have last night, my readiness is for today is 87, which is really cool because it says that I'm in a very healthy rhythm. That it says, great job in concentrating on getting the right amount of sleep lately. You've given your body and mind the rest they need to stay focused and functional during the day. Thank you, Aura. And then my sleep, oh my gosh, I'm getting really, really good because my sleep was a 92, which is optimal. I got 8 hours and 25 minutes worth of sleep last night. And that's because I went to bed. I turned the TV off at 9 o'clock, I think, and went to bed. And so for me, when I go to bed and when I sleep more and better, I'm better. I'm more productive. I am just I can get way more stuff done. So sleep is number one. And if you have not tried to practice getting good sleep, this is my challenge to you as a coach. I'm going to challenge you to pick a bedtime for the rest of this week, right? And I mean, we're already, throughout half the week. So if you start today, go to from today to the same day next week, whenever you are starting to listen to this podcast, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to pick a day. and then start and then go throughout the entire week and go to bed at the same time. Come hell or high water, go to bed. I don't care what's going on. Yes, you might have things to do. Go to bed. I had so many things to do last night and I was tired. And guess what I did? I went to bed because I knew that if I did that, I would wake up more energized, more ready to tackle my day. And I did that. I was able to get up this morning and really get my reading the Bible in and praying, and then I worked out and I was able to get online. So that's number one. Number two, what I want you to do is figure out when you can have some downtime. And what I mean is downtime. It can look so many different ways, right? I do so many different things in downtime. Downtime yesterday, I took a little cat nap on the couch while the kids were in the living room because of course they wanted to talk to me and do a thousand things, but it was my time to get away from the desk because I work from home, and so I'm at this desk pretty much more than I'm anywhere else in this house. I'm right here because this is where I work. This is my office. And so for me, getting up out from under the desk, going into the living room, sitting on the couch, being with the kiddos, dozing off, that was downtime for me, which I don't normally always get because I work a lot, right? Another downtime that I love doing is getting a massage, going to get a massage, wherever you would do that at. For me, it is the most relaxing thing to be able to do that. So that's downtime for me. For you, it could be even taking a day off of work and just doing not much at all. Not much at all. And when I say downtime, it's as if you're not doing a lot. You're calm and you're relaxed, right? You're not doing a lot. A lot of times people may say they get a mani, a pedi, or get their hair done and all that kind of stuff. That's what they consider as self-care. And that could be part of your self-care routine, right? But when I talk about downtime, I talk about something that's going to allow you to relax, to relax. Do that. I get up in the morning. When I get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, I sit on my couch and I'm just silent. I'm quiet. That's downtime for me, right? I think that that's important because a lot of times we don't necessarily do that. Another thing that I'm doing this month of May is that I'm practicing a lot more downtime and meditation and breathing as well, because I think that when your mind is always going, you can never truly think about some of the things that may be important to you, right? So I am on, like I said, I'm on Peloton. Kiki, do you love me? And they have a whole mindfulness, meditation, yoga practice, and everything like that. So I'm committing this month to doing that on a consistent basis. And so this morning I did a 10-minute gratitude meditation, and it was so good. It was so good I mean, especially in the morning, to wake up and be grateful, to be guided through a gratitude meditation, and to think about all the things that I'm blessed about, and that I'm blessed for. It was really, really good. And so I'm committing to do that. V, you said melting on the couch and binging Netflix. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to do more of that. Like, honestly, I don't get to watch TV very, very often. And anytime my TV is on, more than likely it's either on HGTV or SVU, Law and Order. Like, those are the things that I get to watch on a regular basis because they're always on and the fly whenever I get to turn the TV on, right? So, but I love the whole melting on the couch and binge watching Netflix. I want to try that. So I'll report back when I get to do that. But yes, it's just like, it's mindful less activities. Be right, activities that don't allow you to have to think and use your mind. I think we need that in our life. I know for a fact that I need that in my life because I'm always thinking. I'm always having to make decisions, right? Sometimes I have decision fatigue, right? Y'all probably know about that. Decision fatigue is when you always have to constantly make decisions all the time. Sometimes I want to make the decisions. I just want the decision to be made for me. That's what I want sometimes. And so when I do these activities, I don't have to make any decisions because I'm just relaxing. I'm just relaxing, right? And so those are two of the main ways that I practice self-care. And another one is just along the same lines. I try to take a day off, right? Like try to take a day off to just not do anything. So then I can practice and do all these things myself. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of us have all these we have a lot of days, a lot of time saved up. I just heard of somebody who had almost 6 months of time saved up. 6 months. And they were potentially going to leave the job that they were at, and they were going to only be paid out at 50% of that. What in the world? Why do y'all have 6 months of time saved up? Why? Listen to me, people. Listen to me, the Dr. Kiki Ram fam. Okay? 'Cause, like, y'all are my family. Do not save up. Unless you have a trip that's planned, right? Let me just say this. Unless you have a trip that is planned, that is going to take a significant amount of time, do not save up your time because you don't know what's going to happen. And if you're saving up your time, you're already telling me that you're not practicing self-care, right? Because there's no reason why why have time if you're not going to take it? Why have time if you're not going to take time? I'm just asking. Like, because if they took the time away from you, you'd be mad because, and you would be saying, oh, they're not giving me no time. I don't get no time off with this job, but you're not taking the time that you do get. So please start taking your time off because you deserve it. And I'm telling you, taking that time off gives you back the joy and the energy that you need to keep going, because I know most of our jobs are stressful at times, right? And you have a lot going on. So taking that is going to give you what you need to keep moving forward. So please, please, please take your time, right? Take your time. Take a week off at a time. Take 2 weeks off at a time, but take your time. Do not save up your time and don't lose your time. If one more person tell me that they lost their time, I'm gonna go bananas because that makes no sense for me. Like, it makes no sense to me to that you would lose time because it doesn't accrue and it doesn't go into the next year. Please, people, take care of yourself because guess what? That company, that job, they're gonna take care of themselves. I promise you they are. That's just the truth. So please take care of yourself. Of take care of what you need to do for yourself. So my question to you is, for this happiness check-in, as we are prioritizing self-care, my question to you is, are you prioritizing your own self-care? Are you prioritizing your own self-care? And if the answer is no, please tell me what you're going to do within this next 24 hours to make sure that you prioritize your self-care. That is my challenge to you, is that you do something just for you within these next 24 hours that is just for you. And I would absolutely love for you to hit me up on social media and let me know what you did. I mean, you can hit me up on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. or even on TikTok. I'm on all of them, y'all, under Dr. Kiki Ramsey. So you can hit me up. Thanks, Joanna, for joining us live. I appreciate you. So you all, especially the ones who are joining live on Facebook and on LinkedIn, I see you. Put in the chat what you're going to do in this next 24 hours to prioritize your self-care, because I'm concerned about us. I've seen so many stories of some us dying. So many stories of young people. When I say young, anywhere from 30s to 50s, right? Who are passing away or who are having heart attacks because of whatever reason, but partly because I feel like we're not prioritizing ourselves. We're not prioritizing ourselves. So if any of you want to join me this month in doing that, then I invite you to do so. This month of May, I have committed to doing at least 30 minutes, a 30-minute workout every single day, all month of May. I know I'm traveling at the end of May, but I'm still going to get my workout in because I think that it is absolutely important. So I want you to join me in prioritizing your self-care. Hit me up on social media. I thank you so much for always rocking with me. Y'all have been here from the beginning, and I appreciate you. If you are a woman who needs this kind of coaching support that I'm doing for you right now, I invite you to join us at in the Happy Woman Lead Academy. You can go to kikiramsey.com to find out all the information about that, and share this podcast with somebody else. You do know that the Dr. Kiki Ramsey Show can be found on all podcast channels. I don't care what it's Apple, Spotify, everything. You can find this episode and all previous episodes on your your favorite podcast channel. So go ahead and find us there, subscribe, and share this podcast with somebody who you love, and especially share it with somebody who you might not love, because they probably need it too. All right, y'all. Until next time, y'all know that you have the ability to